What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel for another ball review. Today we're going to look at one of the new releases by Roto Grip, the X-Cell. This is a ball that they took the original cell core, which was very popular in its time, and they wrapped it around with the AI core technology just to change the density of the core. And it's also wrapped around with the E-Trax Ultra cover stock, which for me was the E-Trax was on a Rubicon, which is one of my favorite balls that I used last year on the PBA 50 tour. So when they decided to come out with this one and put that core and cover combination on a bowling ball, I'm very excited about it. I used a Rubicon a lot last year. This year, with the changing of the patterns on the PBA 50 tour, now it's basically been using an absolute power in its place. So when they came out with this X-Cell, I was hopefully we're going to give it the same kind of shape as the Rubicon, but maybe just a little bit stronger, because this core is a little bit stronger than what was in a Rubicon. The core numbers for that ball are right here. So it's not a super strong core. It's not a very weak core. Today I'm going to be comparing it to my Harsh Reality that you see in one of my previous videos, and also to an Absolute Power. Not the one I featured in my video, my ball review video, but this is a newer one that I drilled for the PBA 50 tour, because the old one that I had was just flaring too much, and I needed it to flare a little bit less. Let's get out in the lanes and see what's going on. So with this cover, it is out of box. I did scratch it kind of slightly a little bit just to get, because it comes, I believe, with 2,000, but I'll check on that and put it on the video. And just to get it to start up a little bit earlier and be a little quicker down lane. Nice, solid 9. All right, so before we really get into this, make sure you do that thing, hit that like, subscribe, turn on that bell for notifications so you know my content hits the internet. I want to take a special thank you out to Pin Chasers Veterans here for allowing me to come in and do my videos, do my coaching. I really appreciate them a lot. So if you're ever in Tampa, come down to Pin Chaser Veterans here by the airport, and come and have some fun. All right, no more of those 9 pins. Let's try to get some strikes in this thing. Now for the layout, I did go with a little bit newer layout. We went, well, actually I shouldn't say we. I went 4 3/4 by 5 by 2 VLS layout, and this is the same layout I have on the Absolute Power. Now, if you saw my Harsh Reality video, that layout is a little bit different. It's a 4.5 inch pin. Well, my pap did change, so that ball did change a little bit. So it's probably about 4.5 inch pin. It has probably a 3 inch pin buffer, and the mass is 3 3/4. So it is a little bit different. It's more a reference of like a pin down, where these are kind of like a pin up layouts. So when I get to that Harsh Reality, we're going to see how much of a difference that layout is compared to these. All right, so as you can see, I'm doing my normal thing, a little bit more to the right. It seems here either I'm throwing it better, or the house shot. It's pretty fresh here this morning, so my ball motion is pretty good. I'm digging it already. But you see with the cover, it is nice, smooth, very predictable. Doesn't really want to change direction a lot. With that layout, it does get it to start a little bit earlier. We'll go a little longer because the pins are a little higher. And really pretty much read the mid lane the way I want. Some of the other layouts, which is on the Harsh Reality, is going to be a little bit earlier, a little rounder. So it'll probably be more for sport, for short patterns, where the X-Cell and the Absolute Power can be more for versatility for me in my arsenal, where I can play on different patterns. I'm not sure if they're going to really work on long or the short, but hopefully in the mediums I can really control the pocket on the fresh, and then when the lanes start transition, I can get out of them and go to weaker bowling balls. I'm going to move one more time. We'll move a little more left, get closer to second arrow this time, and see if it has that same nice smooth shape as it did on that last one. I think with all these, even though I came around that one a little bit more than the last one, I can see with this layout that I have now on both of these balls, I'm getting the nice length that I want. It's getting through the fronts. I can really see it revving up in the mid lane a little bit more. When I did bowl professionally before, we had a layout where that we drilled a pin in the ring, kicked the mass out, and had an extra hole right on my midline, and that basically gave me the same kind of reaction as I'm getting from this X-Cell, where it gets down the lane from A to B pretty quick, nice and smooth, nice and easy, and you can see it revving up in the mid lane, where I know whether it's going to hook early or it's going to actually push through the mid lane and not hook at all down lane. So it gives me a better read on when the lanes are changing and the transition's happening. All right, one more time with this, and then I'll switch over to the Absolute Power, which, I mean, it has a bigger core but in a weaker cover, but so we'll see how much difference that ball is compared to this one. Oh, that's left. That ball is making me look pretty good today. That was left. So, all right, we're gonna go, now we're gonna switch over to the absolute power and see the difference. Remember, that core is a lot stronger, a lot bigger core, but that cover is really weak. The R2S Deep Solid. So it should be a lot weaker than this E-Trax Ultra solid cover. All right, now with this ball, I've been using this a lot. I drilled it right before I left out in the West Coast swing. Used it a lot in both tournaments for the Senior Masters and the US Senior Open. Very big controllable reaction for me, and the bigger core wants to start a little earlier. But let's see how it reacts here in this house shot today. It is the cut, so they're really close on this house shot. I mean, I'm getting the same type of length because the layouts are the same, but that one seems like it's a little bit smoother because the cover is a little bit weaker, where this E-Trax Ultra Solid, it looks a little stronger. Because when I missed left with that one on the last shot I threw with it, it did pick up a little earlier, where that one kind of pushed down the lane a little bit easier. I'm gonna throw it again and move a little left. Tell you what, you go out and bowl on 50 tour, you come back, you bowl on the house shot. I make the house shot look easy today. Let's try it again. Okay, now that one wasn't as straight in the front as the last one. I did get it out a little bit, but it was nice and smooth and round. It didn't have as big change of direction. It wasn't really sharp, so very controllable. And for when you're starting off on the fresh on some house shot or patterns, you really want that controllable motion where you can stay in the zone that's dictating, and then you could control the pocket and basically try to score the best you can. But then as the lanes are transitions, you have to move. Then you know when to get out of it, because it'll read a lot earlier. All right, we're gonna throw the absolute power one more time. I mean, I know they're really close, but this cover is a lot weaker, so it is gonna get a little bit, probably go a little longer than the XL, which is fine. Not bad. Trip 4 Tuesday. I got that. You can see I'm opening my shoulder a little bit. I'm throwing it a little more right, since I am going a little slower, trying to throw some shape, even though I'm a straighter player. So now we're going to switch over to harsh reality. Remember, this pin is a little bit lower because it has a higher pin buffer, so it should be earlier and rounder. But the core that's in the harsh reality does make it seem like it's a little bit quicker off a spot than the other two, but we're going to see. As you see, as I'm throwing all three of these balls, the surfaces are pretty much the way I want them. I mean, they're very predictable for my eyes. I can see what's happening on the lanes. I can really see the transition, or if I throw a little bit right, I see that ball wanted to dig in, but it wasn't quick off the spot. It was nice and smooth. Where when I threw the last time on it with the XL and I got it in, it held its line and it picked up a little earlier. So that's what I want for the surfaces. I want to know that I have miss room. That way I can stay in my comfort zone and really just kind of know that my bad shots aren't as bad as they probably are. All right, so let's try to throw this harsh reality, see what it does. Should be a lot earlier. We'll see. Oh, that's a bad one. It was. I got through it left, and it was earlier, and it hit that spot like I did with the XL, and it was early and and then it was early and then went. It was a little bit quicker than the other two because it has that lower pin and the mass is kicked out, so it wants to flare quicker down lane. But let me throw a better shot and see what happens. Boo, 4-9. All right, so already the 8 or 10 shots I've thrown, the lanes are transitioning already, so I got to move left. But there you go. There we go. Nice. See, now I moved in more oil, and the ball kind of did what those did, delayed a little bit more, but you can see it wanted to be a little bit earlier, wanted to get going in the mid lane, a little bit more than those two did. So let me throw that one more time, and then we'll switch back to the XL, move a couple left, and see what the range is with that ball for me. Even though I'm not going to be a lot of left to right, but I just want to test it out. Oh, that's a bad one, but that's all right. Kind of looped a little around it more than I wanted to, but yeah, solid 9 again. All right. So you can see there's a big difference in these balls. I know the absolute power was thrown a little right, wasn't as straight. These two are thrown a little straighter. So now I'm going back to the XL. We're going to move a little left and see if there's a difference between any of the three ball balls. You can see, I don't know if you can see it in the video, These three core covers and the two covers on the absolute power in this ball, they are shining up a little bit quicker than I would want, but that's okay. All right, a little more left because, you know, everybody keeps on telling me all I do is play right around 10 for my videos. So now it's time to move in a little bit. I am going to go a little slower. I'm going to come around it. That way it shapes down lane, but hopefully it won't hook too early. Like that. I mean, that ball reaction I've been looking for a while. I can go left to right, throw it to the spot. I can see the ball revving up, and then it comes off and reads the friction nice and smooth. More of an angular type motion for me, for my eyes. Video might look slower because of my rev rate. I know, you know, what we see visually and compared to what we see on video is a little bit different, but that motion I'm really liking. All that, and I'm throwing it pretty good today. All right, so let's do it again. A little more left. Come around a little bit. I could do this on house shot because I'm using a bigger asymmetrical ball. The weaker ones, I won't be able to do this. I mean, what's not to like? Low rev guy, standing left, throwing it right, coming around, and nice and smooth. Balls get very predictable. It's reading the wet, the dry, you know, going from the oil to the dry the right way, no matter how I'm throwing it, if I go throw it straighter or if I come around it a little bit. So now I'm going to throw the absolute power in there and see if there's a little bit of a difference. Now with this ball out, the absolute power, when I do get left, because of the weaker cover, sometimes it gets a little over under, sometimes it goes too long, or once the core takes over and wants to read too early when I'm balling out on the 50 tour. That's why I'm hoping that the XL will kind of blend that kind of condition out, where if I move into more oil, it'll get through the oil, but then it'll read the transition to the dry and read nice and smooth like it is right now. So same thing, moving left, throwing it right, coming around it a little bit more, just to get the shape. It is, it goes a little longer and it's a little rounder. So this, for me, with the two balls, even though that core is stronger, but because the cover is weaker, that ball goes longer than this XL, which is perfect. That's what I wanted it for. I drilled it the same way for this ball to be a little bit stronger because of the cover than the absolute power. So now if the absolute power isn't strong enough and I need something just a little bit, same kind of strength, asymmetrical, but a little stronger cover, it's going to be the XL for me. All right, let me throw the harsh reality in there one time and see how a difference a pin down layout is compared to those. Now this ball, I don't think it's gonna do what I want because I don't think they're dry enough in there, but we'll see. I'm throwing it pretty good today. Maybe I'll make it work. Yeah, you can see it, very lazy. Lower pin buffer, wants to be earlier, not enough friction from the oil to the dry to get it to want to change direction, but when I played farther right with it, it did that. So that's going to be a conditional ball for me, which is fine. I need a stronger asymmetrical ball. That gives me that little bit of delay where I can play more in the dry compared to where this absolute power and the XL are going to be when they're fresher conditions. All right, I'm going to switch back to the XL a couple more times, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, back to kind of normal. I'm going to move more left because I threw some more shots, more in between second and third arrow, but throw it the way I want to throw it, not loop it. I did throw it out a little bit. I kind of was so used to throwing it to the right that I didn't tighten up my hips opened up too much. One more time, we'll be all done. But you see, even my bad shots, it's getting all the way to the pocket. It's reading the wet dry, the house shot the right way. All right, one more time, we're all done. Oh, that's a bad one. That was a bad one, but yeah, you can see this core and cover just matching up to me really well. Okay, I know I kind of lied. I did say like one more shot, but I want to end on a very good one. Plus the fact that I'm striking all the time, I wanted to stay and keep on throwing some more shots. Move a little more left. There we go. And wrap time. All right, little elbow out. All right, guys. That is my ball review video for the new release by Roto Grip, the X-Cell. Make sure you do that thing, hit that like, subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications so you know my content hits the internet. Thanks so much for watching my videos, and peace out.